Hi, welcome back to ChemTube channel. I'm Jago Wong. Today we are going to look at the Kelantan Trial Chemistry Paper 1 year 2020. Let's start. Which substance is a substance? So if we look into the selection of the answer here, A, B, C, all are in the atoms. So only D, A would be the answer under compound. Question 2. What is the function of aspartame and saccharin? Okay, so these two are under flavoring category. So which sulfate salt that is insoluble in water? So for sulfate salt, there are only 3 in SPM level which are insoluble in water. So be P, B, C. So P stands for lead sulfate, B stands for barium sulfate, and C stands for calcium sulfate. So let's look into the answer. So A will be the answer, calcium sulfate. 4. What is the meaning of Avogadro numbers? So let's check the answer. So the number of particles in 1 mole of the substance will be the answer of 4 Avogadro number. Among the following, which is correct regarding the change in the physical properties of elements when going down the group 17? So it's a halogen. Okay, so A, particles condition change from gas to liquid to solid. Okay, so I think this is correct. Gas like chlorine, liquids like bromine, so solid like iodine and astatine. So I think A is the answer. Let's check B. The melting point decreases, so it should be increases. The density decreases, so it should be increased. So element change color getting brighter, so it should be getting darker. Number 6. Which pair is matched correctly? So magnesium oxide is a covalent. So magnesium metal, oxide non-metal, so it should be ionic. Lithium chloride, okay, is ionic, correct. Sodium chloride, metal non-metal, so covalent strong. Butane is covalent sharing of electrons, so wrong. So B is the answer. Question number 7. Okay, which of the following can be added to water to make the solution an electrolyte? So add to water means form the solution. Ethanol insoluble in water, so cannot. Calcium carbonate insoluble in water also, as although it is the ionic compound. Sodium cannot, so copper 2 sulfate is the answer. Which substance is an alkaline? So alkaline, let's check. Okay, potassium hydroxide is a strong alkaline. Question number 9. Which of the following reaction is a Haber process? So Haber process produces ammonia. So the optimum condition, use the iron as the catalyst, so D is the answer. Question number 10. Which of the following processes occur at the highest rate of reaction? So all the reaction here actually quite slow, but if we compare the rate of reaction, okay, melting will be the highest. Okay, next question. Which of the following is true about hydrocarbons? So if we look into the name, hydrocarbons refer to hydro refer to hydrogen, carbon refer to carbon. So C would be the answer. Hydrocarbons contains hydrogen and carbons only. Okay. Next question. Which substance is used to change the iron 2 to iron 3 ions? So iron 2 change to iron 3. If we look into the oxidation number, it is increased. So meaning that this is oxidation. So in other words, we have to choose a reducing agent. Okay. So if we look into the the answers here. So C automatically out because magnesium is a reducing agent as well. So A, B, and D could be the answer. Okay, we look into the B. Potassium manganate 7 solution. Okay, is not a oxidizing agent if it is not acidified. So it should be acidified. Potassium manganate 7. Okay, D also the same. It should be acidified potassium dichromate 6 solution. So the answer will be chlorine water. So chlorine, you will change to chloride. So it undergoes reduction. So it's a strong oxidizing agent. Okay, next. Which of the following example is an endothermic reaction? So among the 4 choices here, so only photosynthesis is the endothermic reaction. The remaining respiration, neutralization, and oxidation of metals all are exothermic reaction. Okay, next. This diagram shows the apparatus to determine the empirical formula of an oxide of the metal X. So if we use a crucible and then heat it strongly, this is for the reactive metal which can react with the oxygen to form the metal oxide. So for this, we can refer to the reactivity series. So basically, for the reactive metal, we will choose the metals above the hydrogen. Okay, so normally the metals from here. We can use this method. If below the hydrogen, we can use the combustion tube one. No? So here, I think the answer should be the first one, zinc. Okay, all the remaining all are below hydrogen. So I have to use the method number 2. Oh. Okay, next one. Okay, diagram shows the apparatus used in the experiment. So you have to heat the calcium carbonate. So this apparatus is called the boiling tube. Okay, we cannot use the normal test tubes, because test tubes cannot withstand high temperature. So boiling tube can withstand high temperature. So normally we use the borosilicate glass, which is it can withstand high temperature. Okay, question 16. Diagram shows the oxide of the elements in a period 3. Okay, this element shows the different characteristics of the acid base. Okay, so from here we can have a look. So sodium, magnesium, aluminium oxide, silicon until chlorine here. So what is the properties of the aluminium oxide? Okay, so aluminium oxide. So actually aluminium is here. So remember, this is the amphoteric. Amphoteric means it has acidic and basic properties. So only aluminium oxide is amphoteric. Okay, so the alkali metals and the alkali earth metals also will be basic property. Then from silicon until chlorine here will be acidic properties. Okay. Okay, which physical processes involve the absorption of the heat energy? So melting, okay, yes, it absorbs heat. Freezing, no, it's a release heat. Evaporation, yes. Condensation, release heat. So it'll be 1 and 3. So the answer will be D. Question 18. Okay, it shows a chemical cell. Okay, substance M. So it should be an electrolyte. So we must choose an electrolyte. So we look into the choices here. Glacial ethanoic acid. So glacial means no water inside, so it's molecules. molten naphthalene, so covalent also molecule. Sodium chloride solution, meaning that it has dissolved in sodium chloride already dissolved in water, so it forms a free moving ions. So glucose is a covalent, so covalent molecules only. So the answer will be C. Okay. So if here will be ethanoic acid solution, so it can become the electrolyte as well. But since it is a glacial, means it has no water inside. Okay, 19. The following equations represent the preparation of ethene. So actually this reaction is called dehydration. So you can look into these diagrams. Okay, so normally we use the porcelain chips to absorb the water from the alcohol, so it will form the alkene gas. Alkene gas. So we also can use the sulfuric acid, concentrated sulfuric acid in the dehydration. So dehydration is the answer. Okay, next, which of the following shows the balanced chemical equations? So we look into the answer one by one. Okay, hydrogen peroxide decompose to form the water and the oxygen. So this equation is not balanced, so it should be times 2. B is a neutralization. Neutralization, sodium hydroxide with sulfuric acid produces sodium sulfate and no water. So this one should be times 2, so not balanced as well. Okay, propene undergoes combustion. So we check one by one. Carbon C3, 3, H8, 4 times 2, 8. Then oxygen is 3 times 2, 6, 6 plus 4, so 10. So 5 times 2, 10. So this one correct. Nitric acid with calcium carbonate. Okay, so this one should be times 2. So the answer should be C. Okay, question 21. The P elements forms the color ions in the solution. So where is the location of the P in the periodic table? So color ions or color compound is characteristics for the transition elements. So you must know that transition elements is from group 3 until group 12. These are the transition elements. So meaning that your choices here, you must choose some position which is between group 3 and group 12. So we look into A, group 1. So group 1 is here, so it's not the answer. Group 8 and period 4. So group 8, period 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So group 8, so yes, iron is one of the choice. So the answer should be B. We look into group 13, period 3. Group 13 is here, so it's not the transition metals. So group 13 wrong. Group 18 is here, no. So group 18 is here. So it's not the transition elements. Question 22. Okay, table shows the result obtained from the decomposition of hydrogen peroxide. So what is the average rate of decomposition? So if we look into the average, so meaning that it has a time range. So what is the time range? So in the second minute. So in the second minutes, meaning that it's between minutes 1 to 2. So meaning that our time frame will be 1 to 2. So the average rate of reaction will be the volume divided by the time. So the volume here will be 240 minus 160 cubic centimeter. The time frame is 2 minus 1 minute. Okay, so if we use our calculator, it will be 80 cubic centimeter per minute. Okay, so the answer is B. So in solving this kind of question, you have to see properly the unit given here. Sometimes the answer given you here will be in the per second, so you have to change the minute to second as well. Oh, okay. Next, 23. A compound Q has the following properties. Liquids in the room temperature, low melting and boiling points, do not conduct electricity, do not dissolve in water, dissolve in organic solvents. So you have to know these ideas is for the covalent compound. So alcohol, okay, propanol, okay, propanol is a liquid, is a low melting, okay, so it fulfill. So methane is a covalent compound as well, but it do not fulfill liquids because it is in a gas state in the room temperature. So B is out. Naphthalene is in the solid state. Sodium chloride is the ionic. Okay, so the answer will be A. Okay, 24. Which of the following is correct about exothermic reaction? So exothermic means heat is released to surrounding. So we look into the choices here. Total energy content for the product is higher than energy content of the reactant. So this statement is wrong. It should be lower because heat is released to the surrounding already. So the product should contain a lower energy content. B. Okay, so this one is correct. So the answer should be B. We look into the C. The chemical reaction that absorb heat from the, so absorb heat, it should be release heat. Okay, then heat value of the reaction is positive. Okay, so this one should be negative. Negative. So the answer is boy. And 25. What will happen when the natural rubber is vulcanized? So vulcanized means addition of sulfur. So the rubber becomes lighter. No, it won't become lighter. The melting and boiling points will decrease. Should be increased. More cross-links between the sulfur atoms and the rubber molecules will form. Okay, so this statement is correct. C should be the answer. We look into B. D. More double bonds form between the carbon atoms. Should be less. Should be less. Okay, so this is wrong also. So C is the answer. Question 26. Okay. The following ionic equation represent a redox reaction. Okay, so which reaction in the list can be represented using the given ionic equation? So if we look into this ionic equation, it is a displacement reaction. So more electropositive metal can displace the less electropositive metal from its solution. So we look into one by one. A. Magnesium nitrate solution mixed with copper 2 nitrate. So this one should be no reaction. B. Mixture of copper 2 oxide and copper is heated strongly. So this one no solution, so also wrong. Copper 3 is dipped into the magnesium sulfate solution. So copper here is less electropositive, so it cannot displace the magnesium from the magnesium sulfate. So this one also wrong. So the answer should be D. Magnesium tab is dipped into the copper 2 sulfate solution. Copper 2 solution. So if we need to put it more accurate, it should be copper. Maybe copper 2 sulfate solution. Okay, so D is the most suitable answer to represent the ionic equation here. 27. Which potassium hydroxide solution neutralized 10 cubic centimeter of sulfuric acid of 0.5 mole per cubic decimeter completely? Okay, so this is neutralization. Okay, sulfuric acid is the diprotic acid. Okay, so diprotic acid. So in other words, the number of mole. Okay, for number of mole. For the potassium hydroxide should be double to neutralize the sulfuric acid. Okay, so let's calculate if number of mole for the sulfuric acid here is around, okay, let me calculate. We use MV over 1000. So for sulfuric acid here, so 0.5 times 10 over 1000. So you'll get your mole will be 0.005. Okay. So in other words, the one you choose here should be double than this number of mole. Should be 0.1. So we check one by one. Okay, MV over 1000. So this one is not the answer. Okay, this one should be the same. So 0.005. So it's not the answer. We want the double. The number of moles should be double. So 10. Okay, so this one should be the answer. 0.01. This one is 0.02 already. So this one is not the answer. So C should be the answer. Because diprotic acid, it produces 2 moles of hydrogen ions. Okay, Amir is a successful football player. Last year he involved in an accident that caused infirmities to the legs and he cannot play the football anymore. He started to avoid having conversation with his family, hanging out with friends, and isolated himself in the room in his house. So which medicine is suitable to treat the Amir? Okay, so Amir is more to the psychotherapeutic, means emotion problems. So aspirin is analgesic, painkillers. So codeine also painkillers. Penicillin is more to treat the disease caused by the bacteria. So cannot. So tranquilizer is more to the psychotherapeutic medicine. Okay, 29. Okay, lead-2 nitrate and the aluminum nitrate are soluble salt. Okay, the table shows the test 1 and test 2. Okay, so lead-2 nitrate, test 1 with white precipitate. Test 2 ammonia, also white precipitate. Test 3 with this one forms a white precipitate form. So for aluminium, okay, this one no precipitate. So what is the possible solution X? Okay, so meaning that sodium chloride. Okay, so it forms a lead-2 chloride, which is white precipitate, is correct. Meanwhile, aluminum chloride with no white precipitate because it is a soluble salt. Potassium carbonate cannot be. Why? Because lead-2 carbonate, yes, it is a white precipitate, but aluminum carbonate, this one also an insoluble salt, so it will show a white precipitate as well. So it cannot be no precipitate. So cannot. Barium hydroxide also cannot, because both will form the hydroxide. Okay, cannot. So yeah, this one can, because lead-2 sulfate is an insoluble salt. Then aluminium sulfate is a soluble salt. So this one it will form a no precipitate is formed. So will be 1 and 4. Okay, 1 and 4. So B will be the answer. Okay, next. In a chemical cell, metal X is connected to the negative terminal and Y to the positive terminal of the voltmeter. Okay, so I give you a diagram. Which of the following is true about metal X and metal Y? So meaning that X is connected to negative. Let's say here is X now, X, here is Y, okay? So remember, the one connected to X, it will becomes the anode undergoes oxidation, so release the electrons. So electrons flows from the X to the Y. So the electrons flows from the Y to X, so it's reversed. Okay, so these two are reversed, so this one is out. Y release electrons to form the Y ions. So this one should be gain electrons, so not release electrons. So metal X release electrons to form the X. Okay, so oxidation release electrons. Okay, correct. C should be the answer. Then metal Y becomes thinner. Should be metal X becomes thinner. Okay, question 31. 1 mole of alcohol is burned in excess oxygen to produce a carbon dioxide and water. So which alcohol produces carbon dioxide and water in the mole ratio of 4 to 5? So let's say we write out the equations. Okay, so alcohol, we don't know what is alcohol. So CnH2n plus 1, then OH react with oxygen, so produce carbon dioxide and water. So as mentioned here, carbon will be ratio is 4 to 5, so meaning that 4 moles of carbon dioxide and then 5 moles of water. So in other words, we can get some info directly from here. For 4 carbons, so we have to put here n will replace with the 4. Okay, so we double check. C4H2n plus 1 will be 9 OH. So let's check. Okay, so it will produce 4 carbons, then 10 hydrogen. So 5 times 2 hydrogen, 5 times 2 is 10 hydrogen. So oxygen will be 4, 2, 8, 8 plus 5 is 13. 13 here got 1, so here times 6. So the answer should be alcohol with the 4 carbons atoms, so it would be butanol. Okay. Question 32. Which of the following shows the correct type of particles for each substance? So let's check one by one. Okay, atom, sodium chloride is ion, so wrong. Ethane is a molecule, so wrong. Copper is correct. Molecules, so copper is atom, so wrong. Copper, wrong. Ethane is molecule, correct. So this one, sodium chloride should be ions, so wrong. So this one is molecules, so not ions. This one ions. So ions wrong. So C is the answer. Okay, next, it shows the thermochemical equations for the neutralization between hydrochloric acid and the sodium hydroxide solution. So delta H is 57.3 kJ per mole. Release, exothermic reaction. So which of the following is true about this reaction? So A, total of 57.3 kilojoule heat is absorbed. So it shouldn't be absorbed, it should be released. So this one should be correct. We check C, this reaction is endo, so it should be an exo. Then is the change of the heat, change of the reaction heat should be heat of reaction, heat of reaction. Okay, so it should be B. Okay, diagram 6 shows an example of daily use material. So which of the following example explain why this kind of materials pollutes the environment? So it is not easy biodegrade, correct. Cause the formation of algae. Release the gas cause the depletion. Combustion of this material release the poisonous gas. So this one should be correct. Okay, so 1 and 4. 35. Which equation represent a redox reaction? So redox reaction, it must involve the oxidation and reduction occur simultaneously. So first one, we look into the equation. This is sorts like neutralization. So this one is not the redox reaction. So this one also neutralization, is non-redox reaction. Okay. So this is the precipitation. So precipitation, also non-redox reaction, precipitation. Okay. So neutralization, also non-redox reaction. So only D. So we can see or double check copper +2, oxide -2, carbon 0. So here is 0. So from copper 2 to 0, so undergoes reduction. So carbon dioxide, so from 0, okay, to +2. So this is oxidation. Okay, so this is a redox reaction. Okay, the information of the X will be empirical formula is CH2. The molecular relative molecular mass is 70. So what is the molecular formula? Okay, so this question quite straightforward. Okay, CH2 times N equals to 70. We need to find out the value of N. Replace in the AR for the carbon and the hydrogen. So 12 plus 1 times 2 times N equals to 70. So N should be 70 over 14. So it's 5. So replace in the N to 5. So CH2 times 5. So it should be C5H10. So C5H10 will be D. Okay, 37. Okay, a substance has the following characteristics. Okay, turns a moist blue lemon pepper to red sour taste. Gas bubbles release when react with magnesium. Okay, so meaning that these are the reaction between the acid, properties of the acid. Okay, so let's check. Okay, so this is the alkane. So alkane has no acidic properties. This is one oxygen, so it'll be alcohol. So it cannot be the answer. Okay, now C3 and C5. Okay, this one can be the answer. If we write, normally we write C2H5COOH. This one is the propanoic acid actually. Okay, and then this one is C4H9COOH. This one would be butanoic. This one should be pentanoic acid. Okay. These two are both are acids. Okay, both are weak acid. Okay, but you have to know pentanoic acid actually it is in the solid state already. So in terms of reaction with the magnesium, it cannot be unless you change it to the liquid form first. So the answer should be C. 38. Okay, it shows energy profile. So it is reactants energy content for the reactants is lower, product is higher. So meaning that this is the endothermic reaction. Endothermic reaction. So which one is correct? So heat is absorbed, correct. Environment temperature increase, okay, which is wrong. Delta H is negative, this one also wrong, should be positive. The heat content of the reactants is higher than the heat content. Okay, I think the statement here is wrong. The heat content is wrong. It shouldn't be heat, should be energy content. So energy content is reactants is higher, so this is also wrong. So the answer only one. I think no answer for this. No answer. The answer should be one only. Okay. 1 only. Okay, question 39. The rate of diffusion depends to the mass of the gas particles. So the heavier the gas particles, the lower the rate of diffusion, because it cannot move easily if it is very heavy. So we just total up the relative molecular mass, then we can see which one is the most the heaviest. So it will be the lowest rate. Okay, so I think the answer should be A lah, because 127 times 2. This one is 14, 12 plus 16 times 2. This one is 2 only. So this one will be fastest, highest rate of diffusion. So this one will be okay. So the A is the answer. Okay, 40. 40 it shows a hydrocarbon. So what is the Arabic name for this compound? Okay, so first step we have to find the parent change. This is the longest. So the numbering, we must use the lowest number to the functional group. So this one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 carbon of hexane. So it should be hex. Double bond at the carbon number 2. So it will be hex 2 in. Then the branch, there are 2 carbons connected together. So it is ethyl. So where is the branch? So at carbon number 3. So 3 ethyl hex 2 in. So this one is wrong. 3 ethyl hex 2 in. So this is the answer. Okay. Question 41. Experiment 1 was conducted by using 25 cubic centimeter of 1 mole per cubic decimeter nitric acid. Okay, so if we calculate the number of mole, okay, of the nitric acid, so if roughly is 0.025 mole. Okay, so what is the concentration of the and volume of the nitric acid to obtain the curve 2? If we look into the curve 2, it has a lower rate, but the volume, the number of mole should be the same, because the volume of the gas collected are the same. So meaning that we have to choose the lower concentration, and mole should be the same. Okay, so let's pick concentration initially is 1. So if 0.1 lower concentration, correct. Volume the same. So but you will get the lower number of mole. Okay, so lower mole should be not the answer, because if lower mole, the volume of the gas collected will be lower, because the volume of the gas, we use the mole times the molar volume. So molar volume is fixed. Normally we use 24. If cubic centimeter should be 24,000. Okay, so if more different, then the volume will be different. So A is wrong. Okay, B, lower concentration. Okay, lower rate. Then the volume of the nitric acid. So we use MV of 1000. So we calculate. Yeah, you get the same number of mole, 0.025 mole. So I think this one is the answer. So 1 mole, if 1 mole per cubic decimeter, 1 mole per cubic decimeter will be same concentration. So same rate of reaction, but the volume is different, will be double. So meaning that the volume will be double for C. D will be higher concentration. So higher concentration meaning that it will be steeper gradient here. Okay, so D will be out. So B is the answer. Okay, diagram 9 and 10 shows two chemical reaction. Okay, let's see. Table salt, you have to know this is sodium chloride. Then powder of X, 5 gram. Okay, put inside the hydrochloric acid after 5 minutes. 5 gram of X powder remains, meaning that in this reaction, no reaction. Okay, this one, sodium chloride put into the X nitrate solution. Okay, so it forms a white precipitate. So we have to see what is the possibility. Okay, so okay, so X here, X is some metals which is lower than hydrogen. So lower than hydrogen, because if higher than hydrogen, it can react with the acid. So it can be copper or silver. Okay, so another one, if you choose any one of here, it will form a white precipitate. Okay, so the possible one should be silver. Okay, so silver nitrate forms react with the sodium chloride, so it will form the silver chloride, which is insoluble salt. So this is a precipitation reaction. So if silver with the hydrochloric acid, will be no reaction because it's less electropositive than hydrogen ions in the ECS. Okay, so the answer should be C. Okay, you cannot choose copper because if copper react with carbon chloride, it won't form a white precipitate. It will form a blue solution. Blue solution. 43, it shows the electrolytic cell. Use the J and K. Here you have to pay attention. Concentrated potassium chloride, so it will affect the chloride selection of the chloride ions. Okay. So electrode J, this is positive, this is negative, this is anode, this is cathode. So at the anode, we have hydroxide and chloride. Since concentration of the chloride ions is higher, so we will pick the chloride ions to be discharged. Okay, then for the K is the negative terminal, so we have potassium and the hydrogen ions, so we will pick hydrogen ions, so it will form hydrogen gas. This one, it will form a chlorine gas. Okay, so we check. Hydrogen gas is liberated at the K. Okay, correct. Oxygen gas is liberated at J. No, because chloride ions is more concentrated here. Is given. So chlorine is liberated here. Potassium is deposited. No, never. So 1 and 3. 1 and 3 will be B. Okay, when chlorine gas is passed through the heated iron 3 chloride is formed. Okay, what is the mass of the iron 3 chloride formed when 120 cubic centimeter of chlorine gas is reacted with iron wool? Okay, so given to you the volume here, so 120 cubic centimeter, so we have to convert to cubic decimeter first, so it's 0.12 divided by 1000. Okay, so we calculate the number of mole for the chloride first. So mole of chlorine, so we use the volume 0.12 over the molar volume is 24, so you will get 0.05, 0.005 more. Okay. Step number 2, we do the mole ratio. Mole ratio here we need to find the iron 3 chloride form. So meaning that we have to compare the chlorine and the iron 3 chloride. So 3 mole of chlorine produce 2 mole of iron 3 chloride. So if given here, it would be 0.005 mole. So you will get X. So the X is roughly 0.003333 and so on. Oh, okay. So on step 3, so what is the mass of iron 3 chloride? So the mole is 0.003333 times the iron 3 chloride. So we have to total out. Iron is 56, chloride is 35.5 times 3. So if we total out, would be 162.5. So 162.5. So you will get roughly 0.542 gram. Oh. So boy is the answer. Okay, 45. The molarity of sulfuric acid is used as an electrolyte in the car battery is 2 mole per cubic decimeter. What is the concentration of the sulfuric acid in gram per cubic decimeter? Okay. So we have the formula to find this. So the concentration in gram per cubic decimeter is use the molarity times the molar mass. So the molarity given here is 2.0. The molar mass for the sulfuric acid, so we have to total up sulfuric acid H2SO4. So H is 1 times 2, so 2 plus 32 plus 16 times 4. So you will get is 98. So 98. So you will get 196 gram per cubic decimeter. So 196. Okay. Okay. Question number 46. Okay, the diagram shows the electron arrangement for the compound form atom X and Y. Okay, so if we look into the diagrams given here, so actually we can list out the electron arrangement. X with 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So X will be 2, 4. How about Y? It's 2, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it'll be 2, 8, 7. Okay. So this is a covalent compound because the sharing of electrons. What is the proton numbers of the X and Y? So proton number same as electrons. So means that we just total up the electrons. So X will be 6, will be 17. So X will be 6, Y will be 17. So D is the answer. Question 47. In an experiment, 25 cubic centimeter of silver nitrate and silver nitrate are mixed with sodium chloride. So it's a precipitation reaction. So the mixture is, temperature found is 3 degrees Celsius, means it increased 3 degrees Celsius. Okay. So how much is the heat release? So heat release here actually is a Q on here. Q normally we use the MC theta. So Q equals to MC theta. M is the total volume of the solution. So it's 25 plus 25. C is the heat capacity constant. So it's 4.2. Theta is the temperature change. So it's 3. So it's around 630 joule. Okay, so B is the answer. The next question. The half equation represents the oxidation of sulfur dioxide. Sulfur dioxide. So what are the value of X, Y, and Z? Okay, so we can just try an error. So sulfur 1, 1. Okay. Oxygen 1, 2, 3. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So meaning that Y here, and then Z. Okay, let's try one by one. Okay, we check the hydrogen. Hydrogen. Or we check the oxygen first. So oxygen is 2, here is 4. So meaning that this one should be times 2. We try an error. Times 2, so 4 hydrogen. So meaning that hydrogen ion should be 4. Okay. Then finally we check the ions. Okay, so here is 0, meaning that we have to neutralize the ions here. So 2 minus plus 4 positive, meaning that still lack of 2 positive. So meaning that Z is 2 because electron is negative. So meaning that X is 2, Y is 4, Z is 2. So it's A. 49. Okay, diagram 13 shows the conversation between Zegumuna, Alicia, and Ali in their common class. You cannot read the dialogue because it was written using the lead to nitrate. Okay, lead to nitrate. Apply kind of a solution. Okay, so if you want to read the dialogues, meaning that you have to make it to have some wordings. So if you are written with the lead to nitrate, so let's see. Okay, actually I gave you a clue here. So it forms a yellow precipitate, so it can show the yellow color here. So how to produce a yellow precipitate? Actually we have to produce a lead to iodide. So how to produce the lead to iodide? We have to react it with the potassium iodide to react it with the lead to nitrate, which is precipitation reaction. If lead to chloride is an insoluble salt, but it's still in the white color, so white color you still cannot read the words. So you have to see, you have to find out the different colors, like yellow colors and so on. Okay. So D is the answer. Okay, last question. Diagram shows two types of cleaning agents, A and B. So if we look into the functional group, this COO will be more referred to the salt. SO3, this one sulfonate, will be detergent. Okay, so we look into the comparison. Okay, A, it forms scum with magnesium. Okay, correct. Do not form scum with magnesium. Okay, correct. In the hard water. Okay, let's see B, effective in hard water. So no, not effective because it will form scum. This one correct. Cause pollution. Actually, for salt, actually is more environmental friendly compared to detergent. So do not cause pollution. This one is wrong. Effective in the acidic water, so it will form the insoluble salt as well. So it's not effective. So this one effective. So the answer should be 50 should be A. Okay, so that is all for the paper 1 Kelantan trial papers year 2020. Okay, if you have any question, you can write down in the comment and then do share with your friends that you think they need it. Okay, so in future, if possible, I will produce more videos on showing how to solve the questions in the trial papers. Okay, thank you for your time.